I mean, it was never planned. It kind of came up. I remember, as many people do, have a, bit of a bad day at work and you think, okay, well, what else is out there type thing. And I randomly applied for this job. I'd obviously knew Atlassian from Jira and Confluence and other products and stuff. I was, I'll apply for it, and ended up, going through the process. Was flown out to Australia for kind of some final stage interviews. I think for me, it was at that point when I spent about a week in Australia as part of those interviews that I really started to think what could be. And I got really excited about that. And I think the people I'd met, like, as you said, not just the people that I'd met in the office, but like, people in the coffee shop, in the hotel, wherever, like, I was like, I could see myself living here. And I think that was the moment to me that I was like, I remember calling my partner, I was like, oh, I will hope this works. Like, I want to move. Yeah, there was that real excitement, I think, about it. And it was just like, you could just see yourself and picture yourself being there. And for me, that's kind of what gave us that reason and that decision to kind of move. And even when, I got the offer and was like, cool, like, what do we want to do? We just didn't really think about it too much. So I remember I got the offer in October. Randomly, I was in China at the time. And I was getting the offer from Australia. So like this like weird dynamic of like, where the hell are we in the world? But I remember being in a hotel in China and like I came off the call. So my partner was like, got the offer. Like, do we want to do this? And we were kind of like, yeah, let's do it type things. So we kind of both just smiled and nodded at each other and was like, yeah, let's do it. And really that was probably the only time that we ever really discussed actually moving to Australia. By the December, our house was packed up. We had kind of had probably about 8 or 9 different leaving parties to the point that people were like, well, you just leave now. And then in the January, like we were on a plane and we're in Australia. So like, I think we look back on that time and we always think like, had we thought about it anymore, we would have talked ourselves out of it. Yeah, it was a leap of faith and absolutely one of the best ones that I've taken. It was great.
I mean, I can tell from your expression as you talk about that time that there's a fondness looking back on there. And I love that. I love the idea of feeling that impetus, feeling, yeah, this is the right thing. Like, I'm excited by this. I can remember as a teenager in my mum's village, there was a public swimming pool, an outdoor swimming pool that was unheated. And you really sat by the pool until you felt that thing of, okay, I'm just going to do it. And then you jump in and there's the shock to the body. But like, you couldn't just lower yourself in because it was so bloody cold. But like, I would love to know do you also get that sense of feeling excited about something and knowing that it's the right route with work? Do you, as you're kind of exploring a creative route or a creative direction, is there that kind of physical, there's something here at some point in the process? Yeah,
absolutely. I think I wouldn't say that it happens every day or all the time. But I think sometimes when you are unpicking an idea or you're starting to explore something like, yeah, we're onto something here. This is particularly cool, different, or it's worth exploration. And I think, like, even, when I think back to some of the time at Whereby, where we were kind of leading the video conferencing piece, we were doing some really cool interaction design work around how to manage video within a browser. And like some of the things that we were playing around with in terms of like dynamic layouts and how to bring in different applications and all of that type of stuff into the space is now very much table stakes, let's be honest. But actually, like, this was quite new and it was like quite exciting. And like when you were looking at other products at the time, such as, Google Meet, Zoom, etc., it was all quite standard. It was like you've got boxes on the screen and it was just very typical. And not that we created anything just for the sake of it, but actually when we went through some of that exploration, as we started to test some of this with customers, not only were we getting a little bit like kind of fuzzy inside, but we could also see that through like how customers were responding to it as well, and how, the changes that we were implementing were actually kind of paying off. So I think there's definitely a few moments, and I always like to think about like what are the signature moments in an experience, like what makes that experience different or stand out, or, like what makes it unique. And for me, that piece around how we manage that interaction around the dynamic stage within your video conferencing piece there was one of those signature moments. And yeah, I think there's a few of those throughout my career that I would go back to and be like, yeah, we did something special there, or we did something different.